Okay, let me secretly start recording and not tell you. So
You're like,
we're definitely not recording right now. Mm.
just kidding.
Um, these dates are finger looking good, man. I have to.
Yeah, what kind of dates you got there, man?
Say
Gooey Majewels?
no, the same ones. Remember the same ones that we sell in the little box?
Yeah. Nice, man. Nice.
I got my
So
hook up
good.
here. I got my hook. So I guess okay. So we'll just start the interview or whatever. I
Okay.
guess
Yeah.
the conversation. We're having an unconventional conversation.
Yes, we are.
So for like a lot of people might know, a lot of people probably don't know, but we lived together for I don't know, it was probably about 6 or 7 months back in Canada, and I
Yeah.
guess you're a little tired of the Canadian weather, so now you're in Thailand. Like, how did you manifest that? Like, why? Like, how did you do that?
Yeah. I really I was never planning on coming to Thailand. I just always knew in the back of my mind and in the front of my mind, I had it written down on like a card that
Yeah.
I would be living in the tropics or I'd be living under the sun 365 days a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know where I was going to be living or how I'd get there or how I'd afford it or what I'd do once I got there. I just knew I'd be living under the sun for 365 days a year. And so I initially didn't even want to come to Thailand. It just seemed a bit too, almost like third world dirty to me.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I preferred something maybe like Australia or Bali, even
Mm-hmm.
though Bali is pretty low income as well. But Thailand was never something never a place I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So I went to Bali because I was like, okay, I can afford Bali and it looks beautiful. I've heard great things about it. So let's go to Bali. So went to Bali and it sucked for triathlon. There was no places to swim, bike, or run.
Right.
Absolutely no places to swim, bike, or run. The food was great. The coconuts were great. Prices were great, but triathlon did not exist there. So then, but I got hooked on the low prices. So I was like, wow, these prices are amazing.
Yeah.
So then I looked up about going to Australia because I was like, hey, I can't do triathlon in Bali. How about Australia? Prices were like 6 times more expensive in Australia, if not more, for
Yeah.
food and rent. Everything was 6 times more expensive. And
Yeah.
I was like, I can't afford 6 times the prices I'm paying now. I'd last 2 months and I'd be done.
Yeah.
So then I was living in a house in Bali, and one of the girls was gonna go to Thailand the next day, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'll just go to Thailand with her, just check it out, and I'll come back to
Right.
Bali. I bought a round trip ticket. But I went to Thailand. I never came back to Bali. I never went back to Bali. As soon as I
Nice.
got to Thailand, I was like, this place is sweet, man.
Yeah.
Prices are twice as cheap as they are in Bali.
Yeah.
So half the price is Bali, and you can swim, bike, and run everywhere. So and the weather was just amazing. In Bali, it was very hot. I could hardly get to sleep. And
Yeah.
Thailand, I could sleep no problem. And people were just so nice and friendly. And it was just more modern.
Yeah.
Thailand is much more modern than Bali.
Okay.
Bali is much more old school.
Right.
So Thailand was modern, cheap. I could do triathlon. Fruit everywhere. Way more fruit in Thailand than in Bali.
Yeah.
Uh, so as soon as I got here, after the first week, I was like, man, I'm living here. I'm not going back to Bali.
Right.
And
So
then one thing led to another, and I met up with a bunch of people, and now I got a community here, living here.
perfect, man. So that's exactly kind of like what you're envisioning. That's kind of like what you wanted.
Yeah, yeah, oh
And
yeah. It's what I wanted without really being able to put it into words.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of like similar to what's happened with me and like Hannah is that like I envisioned like before I even started talking to her, I was already envisioning myself living in a tiny house
Yeah.
with my girlfriend, right? I had no idea how that's gonna happen or how that's gonna manifest, and like through some some interesting kind of events, like it's gonna happen
Mm.
eventually, um, which is totally cool. You just never know exactly how things are gonna happen, but
No.
it's like focusing on the end goal. So you already knew exactly what you wanted, but you didn't know
Yeah,
exactly
for,
where
for
it
the
was
for
gonna
the
take
for
you.
the most part, yeah, for the most part, and then life just fills in the details.
Exactly.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to know how something's gonna happen. You just need to know what you want to happen.
Exactly. So
Just know what.
so something that we definitely experimented with, and something that you still obviously do and I still do is NoFap.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so what was really funny, so when I first met Ted, it was like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years ago, right? I stayed at your place for like a few nights, and I told you about NoFap, and what was your reaction to that?
I thought you were a lunatic. I thought you were the weirdest guy ever. I kind of wanted you to leave my house. I was like, don't tell me not to fap. You know, fapping is like who I am. It's what I do.
Yeah,
It's what every guy does. If you don't fap, you're a friggin' weirdo. Like, get out of here.
yeah,
And then just like a year later or something, I discovered it, and game changers, just as powerful as fruitarianism,
yeah,
just as powerful as fruitarianism. So it's no longer an experiment for either of us. It's just
yeah.
something we do. It's a lifestyle now.
So
It's
what?
a
So what?
lifestyle.
So what are some of the benefits that you've noticed with it?
More willpower in every other area of life.
Yeah.
More ability to get shit done in
Mm-hmm.
every area of life. Way more self-confidence,
Yeah.
especially around the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
But just more feeling of like being an alpha male, even around other alpha males.
Yeah.
You just have this higher vibe about you, and nothing else changed except for doing NoFap. It's like you hold in all this life energy,
Yeah.
and it just like manifests through
Outwardly.
you,
Yeah.
outwardly. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
So those are some of the benefits I recognize anyway. But I'm sure there are far more benefits.
yeah. So it's something you're gonna obviously keep doing.
Yeah. There's
You're not gonna start just jerking off to porn.
no. It's like especially not to porn. No. It's a drug. It's a drug. Blowing is a drug, and it's best. But even then, it's like something you don't want to be experiencing often. I don't think.
No, definitely not.
Because with every high, there's a low.
And that's like
Yeah.
what people don't really realize is so you're constantly like going on this high and then a low and then a high and then a low,
Yeah.
then a high and then a low and then a high and then a low, and your hormone levels never really stabilize, and you're always on this kind of like fucking roller coaster, right? Up and down,
Yeah.
up
It's a
and
roller
down, up and
coaster.
down. And I've noticed like in the so I call it like it's called the hangover period, which is like the 2 weeks after you have an orgasm, is like
Mm.
even since like I told you like I did like 57 days, and even like afterwards I was just like fuck, like I'm really not like I'm not motivated to do anything, right? Like I just want to sit around and kind of just chill
Why did you not get motivated?
because I had fapped.
Oh, after 57 days.
Yeah, so I told you that I had the wet dream, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
We gotta talk about that, man. Not many people talk about that.
So yeah, so I had the wet dream, and then it was like 3 days after that. I was just like I was just so ramped up. I was like, I just have to jerk off. So I was just like, fuck. But yeah,
Oh man.
because we'll talk about wet dreams because wet dreams was something that you've had struggles with, I guess.
Yeah, I've never in my whole life have I ever had a wet dream. I never even knew what wet dreams meant. I thought wet dreams meant pissing in your sleep, and I thought, I've had as a kid growing up, I had a couple wet dreams, maybe just envisioning myself peeing in a urinal or something, and actually peeing my bed. But
Yeah,
no, wet dream is actually like blowing in your sleep uncontrollably, and I've never had that until I started doing NoFap, and what I think the reason for this is evolutionarily, I think, is when you start doing NoFap. You have deeper, clearer dreams, and
hmm
with deeper, clearer dreams, they become more real. And the more real it becomes, the more chance you have to actually control it and manipulate it and start dreaming lucidly.
right.
And so I think that all the wet dreams I had, the event so real in my head when I was dreaming, it was like discovering sex for the first time, and then you can't control it. It just feels so good, you just blow. But I think in those dreams, it's like practice for being able to control your dreams.
Yeah,
It's like giving you an opportunity to say, hey, practice controlling your dream. Because I've never had such real clear dreams as I have than I've had on NoFap. But I don't think the come down is as bad with a wet dream as it is
yeah,
with fapping, because I think you do it for two completely different reasons.
Yeah.
And with NoFap, your cum levels, your jizz levels just build up to such a high level that maybe they just need to spill over or something, and they just come out in a dream. So who
Yeah.
knows? It's just my ideas.
Yeah. I just posted my video today talking about the the 7 days that I went without fapping, and somebody
Okay.
talked about like that if you're not using your sexual energy, or you're not kind of like transmuting your sexual energy, then that might be a reason why
Oh,
you're
that's interesting. I like that. I like that.
that might be a reason why that you'd have a wet dream. So
I like that.
they actually linked me to some an article to read, so I haven't read that yet, but if they check
It's
that
it's
out.
actually it's actually it's actually kind of I like that because uh, the more focused I am on a project, like right now I'm working on a project. I can't say much about it now, but I'm very heavily invested in it creatively, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't think about much else. All I focus on is this creative project I'm working on, and girls are like the last thing on my mind. But obviously when I see them, they're beautiful, outstanding, and they make me feel great, whatever. But it's not something I'm like thinking about
Mm-hmm.
regularly. Is it girls, 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 girls? But maybe if I wasn't so heavily invested in transmuting my energy and creatively, then maybe I'd be more outwardly focused on girls, and
Exactly.
then I'm more likely to have those dreams maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point there, because yeah, I think it's really important. Like guys might start doing NoFap, and then basically they still have they're starting to build up all that energy, and they really don't have anywhere to put it, because they really
You know, yeah,
it's
yeah.
more it's a lifestyle. It's not like you just stop jerking off and then you continue doing everything else in your life. Like maybe you're just
It's, yeah, man. Complete lifestyle overhaul.
yeah, absolutely.
It's just like fraternalism. It's like when if you're a bus driver, for example, you sit and ride a bus for 8 hours a day and you go fratarian. Chances are you're gonna leave your job because you're not gonna be able to sit in a bus and eat like watermelons all day and not be able to go pee every 20 minutes or something,
Yeah.
and just have all the energy and just have to sit there in a bus and drive people around, and sitting goes for watching TV. You're not gonna someone who does that. You drink orange juice and you go do stuff. You eat watermelon, you go do stuff, and
Yeah.
you're creative, and you don't just sit and laze around and watch TV or whatever. It changes you. So NoFap would be the same.
So what's something? So you're big into fruitarianism, which is obviously just eating a fruit-based diet.
Yeah.
So if people want to learn more about that, like you have a whole channel on that, right?
Yeah, Fruit Living on YouTube. Fruitliving.com, even
Okay,
my whole website full of resources on it.
perfect. And so I'll definitely link to that. What else? Like, cause you talk about like the game changers or the life changers. So you talk about like NoFap, fruitarianism. What's another like game changer for you?
Meditation or float tanking.
Okay.
Float tanks, float tanks, float tanks. If you guys don't know what float tanks are, YouTube them, Google them. They are
Nice.
absolute people who dedicate their lives to meditation, right? There's people who go spend thousands of dollars and go on these meditation retreats. They read books about meditation. They dedicate their lives to meditation. And float tanking is basically rounding out the edges of meditation and just making the meditation experience so much smoother and easier and deeper and more fulfilling.
Okay.
Uh, and what a float tank basically is, for those who don't know, is it's basically a big tub about the size of a bed that you step into, close the door behind you, you lay down in about a foot of salt water, heavily salted water, so salted that you float, and the water is room temperature, so you don't, or not room temperature, but it's body temperature, so you don't even feel the water, and everything's pitch black, you don't hear a thing, so
Yeah.
your senses are totally um, blocked off. You don't see anything, you don't hear anything, you don't feel anything, and you're just floating. All you're aware of is your awareness. And you don't even have to try to meditate. It's just instant meditation. You don't have any other choice but to
Mm,
meditate. But your body is so relaxed, you don't need to try and like sit up straight or cross your legs and think about the pain in your ankles or your knees or your back or your neck. You're just totally floating peacefully, and you just get into these deep, deep, deep states of relaxation. You're constantly on the verge of almost falling asleep. You're
yeah.
just in between wakefulness and restfulness.
Perfect.
It's just the deepest form of meditation. And there's people who say they've been meditating for 40 plus years, and when they step into a float tank, it's like taking it to a whole new level.
Right.
So yeah, meditation, NoFap, and Fruitarianism are three massive game changers, but can definitely make meditation a lot more enjoyable, I think, with the use of a float tank.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's something I really love doing.
Awesome, man.
Often.
Often. Have you found any place in Thailand to do that?
There is a place in Bangkok,
Yeah.
but I haven't gone because I wasn't able to. Things got in the way. But a friend of mine and me are planning on potentially opening one up in Chiang Mai, a float tank center.
Nice.
Because we're both really into meditation, and I'm
Yeah.
really into float tanking. And he's experienced the one in Bangkok a couple times, so that's a future project in the works.
Cool. Are you still doing your morning miracle practice?
Every now and then, not as rigidly as I can, and I think it's because I'm putting out way too much energy into training.
Yeah.
So like when I wake up in the morning, it's like time to work out. I don't have time to do anything else. It's like I wake up, I leave the house, I start my swim, bike, run training.
Right.
But on my off days, which I don't really take often, I wake up early and I just do creative work for 2 or 3 hours straight.
Okay.
And then end up going out doing some workout anyway. But yeah, no, the Miracle Morning is amazing for periods when you're not at training camp. Like I'm at training camp right now. All I do is train.
Yeah.
So I really can't afford energetically to be waking up even like half hour earlier. I need all my sleep, and as soon as I wake up, I go train. But my habits, I think Miracle Morning is amazing for people who don't have the freedom of lifestyle I have. I have all day to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And first thing in the morning, I need to train. So that is my miracle morning. I wake up and train. But for the rest of the day, I live a miracle day. My whole day is a miracle. All the great things people do in Miracle Morning, I tend to do throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So I do my meditation. I'll do my affirmations. I'll do my goal setting. I'll do my journaling. Yeah. I'll do my creative projects, my writing, whatever, throughout the day.
Right.
But first thing in the morning, last thing at night, it's all about fitness and getting in the calories.
Getting in the calories and then sleeping and resting and recovering and
yes, sir, and doing it all again.
Doing it all again the next day. So what are you training for though?
Man. Well, I actually don't have a race signed up yet, but this is my first year doing short course racing. Yeah. So I'm just training for swim, bike, and run.
Yeah. Shit.
Races. Fast distance.
Sorry, which distances are you doing again?
Sprint and Olympic distance.
All right, so the shorter ones. So you're done with Ironmans for now.
For now, yeah, but I'll return. I'll return with a vengeance. I'll return with a vengeance.
That's awesome, man. So that's so cool that you're just like you're so into training, but you don't even like. Are you even signed up for a race right now?
No.
You just enjoy training.
No. Every week I try and set or break a personal record. So that's really motivating.
All right, cool. You totally just cut out there a little bit, but after what I just said,
I'm just focused on breaking and setting personal records each week.
Perfect. That's so cool.
Just getting faster and faster.
Ah, damn it! I was gonna ask you something and I totally forgot. What was it? Oh man.
Gone. You missed it. Never coming back.
Never coming back.
Those don't come back,
no. Like... I got it.
Oh.
Because so you obviously focus on stuff throughout the day as well. So like you like Neville Goddard's book, Feeling is a Secret.
Yeah. Love him.
Tell me about your love for him.
Yeah, I listen to him often. Usually, as I'm falling asleep, I'll listen to his audiobook, or just a soundbite of him on YouTube. And even first thing in the morning, I'll just wake up and put on some Neville as I'm getting dressed or getting ready for the day. He's just all about the feeling, and I listen to a lot of Abraham Hicks and Bashar as well, and they're all. Abraham Hicks has a whole book called the astonishing power of emotions. It's all about
Yeah.
feeling. And Bashar talks a lot about circumstances don't matter. It's all about your state of mind,
Yeah.
which, in other words, is how you feel about things. That's what really matters. And
Right.
Neville Goddard just puts it another way. He's like, feeling is the secret.
Right.
So just feeling is the way. So many people put their focus on things. They want things in life, but really just focus on how you want to feel. And it doesn't really matter what things you get, because you're going to feel the way you want to feel if you know how you want to feel.
Exactly.
So
Like that's
it's all
something
about the
that,
feeling.
yeah, that's something that I've noticed, like with doing the self-love practice is
Yeah.
like, it's just like, you just start like saying to yourself, like, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself.
Right.
If I love myself truly and deeply, how would I feel? I'd feel peace and love and joy. And just focus on those feelings. And there's no circumstantial reason for you to feel those things. It's not like anything's like really changed in your life. But what's really important is that if you want things to change in your life, you have to change how you feel about the things that are already in your life.
Instantly. And everyone has this power. Everyone has this ability. I can walk up to somebody right now and say, dude, do your best to feel angry right now. Go. Feel angry for 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah.
And he could do it. He just got really angry and start acting really angry, like throwing a temper tantrum. And vice versa. I could go up to another person and say, hey man, act really, really happy. Go, act happy. And he's just really happy, super stoked. He loves himself. Everything's wicked. And when you look around your world in a really happy state, everything becomes more beautiful. Boom, and you change 30 seconds later, you're really angry. You look around, everything's become dark and gloomy and everything sucks. But nothing's really changed except you, except your state of mind, your feelings.
Exactly.
But just as Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
But they have to, so.
It's really that simple. And this is why people take drugs, man. This is why people.
Okay,
What happened?
hold off 1 second. Sorry, you just totally cut out. So you said this is why people. This is why.
Yeah, this is why people take drugs. This is why people take drugs. This is why people take ecstasy. This is why they drink coffee. This is why they smoke cigarettes. This is why they drink booze.
Yeah.
Because it's why they smoke weed. Because when you change your state, everything in life changes. And when you're temporarily, you feel good temporarily, whether it's smoke or coffee or whatever.
Right.
Everything in life is better. Everything in life is good.
Yeah.
And then they come off these drugs, and oh man, everything sucks. Got to get back on the drug.
Exactly. Same thing with NoFap, right? It's the exact same thing.
Same thing with NoFap. But NoFap is a sustainable state changer.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
That's the difference. Getting good sleep, sustainable state changer. Getting quality exercise every day, sustainable state changer.
Eating clean foods.
Eating clean food, sustainable state changer. And I'm a big advocate of raw food, and as you know, I don't promote cooked food, and the reason for that is because cooked food doesn't taste better than raw food. The only reason people eat cooked food is to change the way their state. They change the way they feel. You know this better than anyone. You're more aware of this than almost anyone I know.
Yeah.
Right? You eat the cooked food, you feel that, that nice, really comforting feeling,
Yeah.
As temporary as it is, it's definitely there. It's definitely there. And raw food doesn't really provide that. Raw food is just more like all the way across.
Yeah, you don't have that to rely on, right? So you can't be like, because like I even noticed, like even tonight, like I normally have like a meal of like potatoes for dinner or whatever, but I was like, I'm just gonna have a big salad tonight, and like
Nice.
I immediately, like afterwards, I'm just like, man, like I should go make some rice or something, or I should go do this, or I should, like, I'm starting to think already, like,
Yeah.
I need some cooked food, I need something,
Right.
right? Just because it's like I'm just not maybe feeling just perfect at this moment, so I want something in order to change my state.
And yeah, that's a big one, man. And the thing is too, like when you're hanging out with me, it was so much easier to eat raw, right?
Oh, way easier.
Way easier, because when you hang out with certain people who expect things of you, your ideal comes out. Your ideal self-image is able to flourish, So like when you're living around me, you saw yourself as someone who was really fit, healthy, eating raw vegan for the most part.
Yeah.
And I saw you the same way. And then whenever you'd eat some cooked food, I wouldn't see it as Derek. I was like, who's this guy? Like, what's
Right.
this guy doing?
Yeah.
But then when you go back to being fit and eating raw food, I was like, oh yeah, that's the Derek I know. That's Derek. Like I would expect that of you, and you would bring it forth.
Yeah.
So it's really important to hang around people who expect good things from you. But that really starts from expecting good things from yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
But when you're around people who don't expect anything from you, or expect whatever from you, then it's easy to just give them whatever.
exactly. It would kind of be the same. Say you're at a party and nobody knew that you're either a fruitarian or a vegan or something like that. You could just be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go have this pizza, or I'm gonna go smoke cigarettes, or like whatever, because those people around you have no idea the type of
That's
lifestyle
it.
that you want to live, and so
Yeah, man.
and that's a big thing, especially because it's so important to surround yourself with people that are obviously like-minded and hold you to some type of like standard, right?
That's
Like
it. That's it. That's
holding
it.
you to a standard so that, and that's kind of like, because I kind of think of that and it's like, well, you're just relying on other people to hold you to that standard, but that can be, that can be
It
also,
goes both ways. It goes both ways. They need you
yeah,
just as much as you need them.
right. That's a good point.
It really goes both ways. You're scratching their back and they're scratching yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's it's so important, man, to surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier to avoid the wrong people than it is to hang around the right people. Because if you're hanging around some guy who you don't really like or some girl you don't really like, it's easier just to say, "Okay, I'm not gonna hang out with you today," and just or ever again. Rather than I think that's easier to do that rather than to say, "Hey, like that person's really cool. I'm gonna hang out with them all the time."
Mm-hmm.
But at least you can avoid the wrong people and just
Right.
focus on yourself for a bit, and then when the opportunity arises, or when you create the opportunity, you can then start hanging out with certain people regularly and make appointments with them.
Yeah.
If you want to hang out with cool people, start by asking them a few questions and then make appointments with them. Say, hey, do you want to do an interview, or do you want to go for a walk, or hey,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to do a workout together, or hey, do you mind helping me with this project or something?
Mm-hmm.
Just set an appointment with them, and that gives you an excuse to just hang around them a bit more.
Exactly. That's a good point there. And something else that obviously you got me into is if you don't have those people to hang around with, like you don't know anybody that's like super positive or like people that you want to hang around with, and you've eliminated the negative people, is to listen to books of people that
Yeah,
you'd
bro.
want to be with. So you love audiobooks and you're always listening to them.
Bring in the audiobooks, man.
Yeah.
This is the first time in human history that we've had access to every mentor that's ever lived, basically.
Yeah.
I can get mentored by Gandhi. I can get mentored by Jesus Christ. I can get mentored by Mother Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
These people can be on my team. They can be mentoring me on a daily basis just by me listening to their audiobooks.
Yeah.
Or listening to their biographies or whatever. No other time in human history have we been able to just say, "Hey, I'm gonna listen to Mother Teresa for 14 hours straight,"
Right.
and just put her in. But nowadays, you got
Yeah.
the all stars. You got Jim Rohn, who's passed away. You can still listen to him. You got Bob Proctor, who's in his 70s, almost 80 now. Listen to him. Darren Hardy,
Yeah.
Neville Goddard, who's again passed away. Abraham Bashar, people channeling these crazy messages.
What are your top?
First time in human history we can just download this and upgrade ourselves on a daily, hourly basis.
Exactly. And I think, something that Neville Goddard always talks about is a state, basically the state that you enter sleep in, right? So, like, I always listen to an audiobook. I always listen to The Power, which is by Rhonda Byrne, who created The
nice.
Secret. So I always listen to that right before I go to sleep. And what's great is with the Audible app, you can set a sleep timer as well, which is money.
I like that.
What is what are like the top 3 audiobooks that you recommend?
It depends what topic you want to get better in, but
personal development in general.
Okay, first one right off the bat: How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Okay.
Listen to that audiobook. Take notes. An audiobook every day. How to Win Friends and Influence People. That one is huge.
Okay.
And it's really well written. It's really well spoken. It's enjoyable to read and listen to. Another one would be The Compound Effect.
I knew you were gonna
And the
say that one.
reason I like that one, the reason I like that one, motivates you to just make small progress every day. Just make small progress every day.
So you like the compound effect because it makes you, because it inspires you to make small changes every day. Sorry, there's a bit of a delay.
Hey?
So compound effect because it inspires you to make small changes every single day.
Not small changes every day, but just little bits of progress every day.
Okay.
So people often don't really like too much change in their life, but they like to make progress, constant progress. And progress is a kind of change, I guess, but it's really positive change. So just making little bits of progress every day, whether it's writing a sentence for your ebook, one sentence a day, in 365 days in 1 year, you'll have written almost like a full short story. 365 sentences. That's a lot of words.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a sentence a day, and that's just that. So if you have like 3 or 4 areas of your life that you just do that much progress in, like if it's writing, you write a sentence a day. If it's with your fitness, you do 12 pull-ups a day, and you add a pull-up every week or something.
Right.
If it's with your nutrition, you just add an extra 100 calories of fruit in every week or something. Just little bits of progress every day. Over the course of a year, you're a completely different person. Over the course of 5 years, you're right where you want to be. So I like that book. And the third book would be there's so many good ones, but just to get people really aware of their emotions would be Abraham Hicks' Astonishing Power of Emotions.
Yeah.
The Astonishing Power of Emotions. That book just basically keeps reminding you and tells you in different ways about how your emotions actually create, and how it's your emotions that are really the dictator of your life experience.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Nothing else will dictate your life experience as much as your emotions. And you're always in control of how you feel. Nothing outside you will control that. Nothing outside you.
That's a really good point, especially for taking responsibility for how you feel is like the biggest game changer in your life for sure.
Yeah, there's the book. I don't know if you've heard it. It's called Ho'oponopono. I think that's how you say it.
Somebody left me a comment on one of my videos about that. I had no idea what it was.
Okay. Ho'oponopono, man, game changer. You want to talk about game changers? Taking responsibility, 100%. 100%. Meaning. The reason you're drinking that green juice right now is because of me. The reason you're wearing Under Armour, a green Under Armour sweatshirt, is because of me. The reason Under Armour even exists is because of me. I am 100% responsible for the reason you just scratched your eye, for the reason your light bulb's on in your room, for the reason your bed is made the way it's made or not even made. I'm responsible for that. So Ho'oponopono is about this doctor who is given information about certain patients who have these debilitating diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And he reads about them. He gets their name or whatever, their age and their disease or whatever. And then he just starts doing cleaning. He starts cleaning. So he says, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And he just takes 100% responsibility for their problem or their disease, their issue. And then he starts cleaning. He goes to work and cleans it. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And he just takes 100% responsibility for just does his cleaning, and the patient's disease and issues go away. And they don't even need to know that he's doing it.
That's so
It's
wild.
just because in his reality, he takes 100% responsibility, does the cleaning, and they get fixed.
What?
And in his reality, they get fixed. And what physicists now are making us all aware of is that we live in an infinite universe, meaning that we live on there's infinite different realities going on all at the same time.
Right.
You can step into any different reality at any different time. So if I get you to describe your reality, it's going to be completely different than when your mom describes her reality or when your dad describes his reality.
Right.
And yet we're all living in this same reality apparently. But the reality is we each live in our own reality, but so much so that everybody else's reality is our responsibility because they're in our reality, and we are responsible.
Right.
We are creators of our own reality. It's
Okay.
a trip, man.
That
It's a
that
trip,
sounds
but
that sounds like I'm gonna do some acid before I read that or something,
no,
or just by reading it.
yeah, just well, if you do acid, then you instantly become aware of the fact that yes, you are 100% responsible for everything. You are God, you are
Right.
creator, and everything. So you can really experience that. But just by reading the book, you at least open your awareness to the fact that when you take 100% responsibility, you can create or disintegrate anything in your reality, whether it's someone's disease or someone's welfare, someone's financial success or whatever,
Yeah.
or your own. Um,
Wow.
Taking responsibility, it's a big one.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
That's really cool. Awesome. That
game
was
changer.
yeah. That's I think that's a really good place to end this because that's definitely a big
Cool, cool.
thing. And so yeah, I'll definitely leave some links below to both of Ted's YouTube channels there, and definitely check them out.
Yeah,
Highly
yeah.
recommend them. So
Thanks, man. Yeah, I got a million different YouTube channels, but the two ones to check out would be the 100 Squats a Day channel
yeah.
and Fruit Living.
Okay. All right.
Fruit Living and 100 Squats a Day. Check those out.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for the interview, man.
No
And
problem, man. Good.
if
Good to
if
always catch up.
any of you guys are in Thailand, come visit me in Chiang Mai. I'll be there in about a month and a half when I finish up in Phuket, and it'd be nice to meet you guys.
Awesome.
Anyone who watches Derek's channel is definitely someone I want to meet.
Perfect. Thank you, bro.
Hey, quick question for you, man.
Yeah.
Is where do you want your channel to be in the next couple of years?
I've I don't know. I've really kind of been toying with my other channels as well. So I've got other channels that are on the go. So Man Talk TV, and then the I Love Myself channel. So I'm not exactly sure where this one is going specifically.
Where do you want it to go?
Well, I want it to be huge, of course, because
Cool.
I think the information that I put out is some of the best stuff that you can learn about, right? So it's definitely like everything that I talk about typically goes against the mainstream way of thinking, and which I think is really important because I don't see. I mean, I don't think a lot of the information that people are receiving in their life is necessarily beneficial. Like I notice my dad
Right.
is always watching the news and
Yeah.
reading the
Yeah.
news websites, and it's just like, you know, maybe we can step away from that. Maybe we can disconnect our TV. Maybe we can start to read some books. Maybe we can start to focus on long-term gratification instead of instant gratification. Or maybe we can start cleaning up our diet. You know, maybe we can
And
stop.
what about all that stuff interests you? Like, why do you want to do that? Is there a certain way it makes you feel?
Absolutely. Like I mean, a lot of that stuff makes me feel like I just think I don't know why I'm just so interested in it because I think it's just so unique. And I guess, you know, humans we want to feel unique, and I think that is one reason why I'm really kind of drawn to that stuff. And you know why I've ridden my bike through Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and done all those bike tours and stuff is it was just a different way of doing that and experimenting with it and seeing how it did affect my life. And I
Right.
think, you know, what I've really kind of been learning is like it really all just comes down to how you feel about things. Like you know, that's something that I think is such an important focus with me, is so directing my thoughts and directing my feelings to how I want to be feeling right now, and just like being like, yeah, you know what, I want to feel really good right now, I want to feel really excited right now, I want to enjoy right now as much as possible, right? And just get
Yeah, man.
so just feeling fulfilled right now and just feeling grateful and feeling love and feeling all these great things. And that's really kind of like where my primary focus is right now. And like with this channel, Unconventional Living, it's just like I've talked about so many different topics, and now it's really kind of coming to a head with this one, is because I kind of felt like all those other topics, so like minimalism and, you know, like a plant-based diet and NoFap, I always kind of like, I'm like, doing those things are going to make me happy, but really at the end of the day, it's like, it's more so just how I think. And I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah. How
all
you
the,
choose to think.
how you choose to think, right? And I think that the way that I kind of view minimalism, no fap, plant based diet, living intentionally is like they're almost like tools in your tool belt.
Yeah.
So they can. I think that you could eat a really shitty diet and still feel good, but if you eat a clean diet and you eat like a diet focused around fruit, it's so much easier to feel good.
Yeah.
You can just feel good so much easier, especially with NoFap as well. You can just feel good so much easier. So it's kind of like a tool, but you have to use it in the right way. So you still have to be focusing around like thinking positively and just feeling really good. So
Yeah, and most people they're just not aware of any of these things, man.
no,
So I'm props for putting it out there and just making it known.
awesome, thanks, man. Yeah, I was actually I got to really write out some goals for this channel because I really have not written out goals for it. So
Do it, man.
I will do
It'll
it.
just anything to help clarify.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool, man. Well, I gotta get some food. I'm pretty starved.
It's pretty lean. You're leaner than me right now.
Yes.
Finally,
Yes. I
finally,
had the
man.
lead.
Finally,
I had the lead.
you have the lead. Finally, I've only
I
gained
can't
maybe
give
like
it up now.
no, you can't. Well, I mean, you live in
Can't-
Thailand and you're training. I live in fucking Canada right now and I can't train, so that's my excuse.
Yeah, no excuses. No one wants to hear your excuses. No one wants to hear
No
your
one wants to
excuses.
hear that shit. Cool, man.
No.
Awesome. Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Cool.
And thanks so much, Ted. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Ciao.
Peace out.
Peace, guys.